We're in Japan, here for round 12 of the AV Championship. There's 16 rounds in total, which means we're headed towards the end of the season. There's only 9 drivers today. Lots of drivers having other priorities, unfortunately. But the two main contenders for the championship are here. Euphoria's changed his username to Euphoria. And Lars is still Lars, leading the championship by a certain amount of points. So I'll get to very quickly. It's a gap of 18 points to Euphoria and 20 points to Fast. Fast not here today. So we'll see what today brings as everyone gets ready to put in their qualification laps for today. If everything goes right, everyone will get points. We see Nock going first out on track, I think. Let's get the track map where, yeah, he's the first out on track. He's going to be setting a lap. Let's go on board with him. Once he's starting his lap. Ooh, that's a very bad exit out of the chicane. That's compromised Nock's first lap. But we're going on board with him anyway. Using up a lot of ERS on the straight, lining up for turn 1 and 2. Forming up the first corner combination, also very slidey. Before going into the S's here, now into the S's, looking a bit more secure, but not hitting those apexes as he should. Not looking as confident as one would hope for Nock right now. He's got a new teammate though, who's still in pit at the moment. Tenta, or NV, as some people will know him as. He's back again. He's been out of AV for a few months. But he's here again. He's got the game. It's relatively new, but he's here to try. See what he can do and score some nice points for the team. He's replacing Frank, who has not been active in AV for the past few months, so it's nice to see some new faces and at the same time some old faces back in AV. Nock has decided to call off his lap. Now we go on board with Laurens, who is the first to set a lap. Then let's say purple second sector naturally for him. There we have Nock waiting before the chicane, giving Laurens enough room. That seems like a good chicane for Laurens here. A little bit of a slide on the exit. Staying in the middle of the track, going across the line. It's a 128.7 for him, setting the benchmark today. Immediately crashing out, hitting the wall, but staying, keeping his car rolling. He's back on track. He's got some gravel on his tires. Luckily for him, he's already set his lap and is now on his way back into the pits. Take care though, as you don't want to find yourself in the wall again. Gbot second to set a time here. It's a 129.9. It's a banker lap. Let's hope we see some more improvement from him further in this race, in this qualifying session, I should say. Let's see who's the next to set a lap. Everyone's nicely spread out, I think, giving each other enough space to qualify. Into the final chicane we go then with pin size, or pint size. trying to find the grip on the exit there. It's P3 to 30.9. There surely is some more improvement to find there for him. Let's see, is that knock on a lap again? It's invalid again, so he's gonna be diving into the pits. And right behind him we have Laurens. But then, I think that Euphoria out on an out lap. Lars is on a lap though. The championship leader. Let's see what he can do. Keeps everything valid. Going across the line. Very much sticking it on the inside at the 27.9. Going almost a second faster than his teammate. Setting the benchmark for Euphoria here. I believe, from what I know from these drivers, that they're the two drivers who are going to be fighting for the win today. Unless we have a surprise. It's going to be Lars versus Euphoria. They're going to be fighting for the championship today. To get as many points on the other driver as possible. Here we have Galaxy. So trying to set his first lap, looking to set a... Oh, he's decided to not continue his lap. Let's see what Milo can do then. Going into the final chicane here. That's invalidated, unfortunately. But he might be trying for another lap. No, he invalidated it on the last chicane, which will mean that he won't have another lap here. That's very unfortunate. I think he might have invalidated and forgot to dive into the pits then. That's gonna cost him a lot of time. Now here comes Euphoria's response to Lars's lap, and it's off by 3/10. He's missing out on 3/10. He needs to find that somewhere in his lap to try and beat Lars for pole position. A bit over half of the field have set their first laps. Now, let's see, G-Bot's on his way back to the pits. Euphoria should now be on his way back to the pits unless he's trying another lap. Hello, Pint Size. I keep mispronouncing your name. I am so sorry. Seems to be going quite alright. P5 for you currently, though lap time can be better. Since there's 4 drivers behind you who haven't put a lap time yet. I think Euphoria is on his in lap. And Laurens is on his out lap again. And is that Milo? Is that G-Bot on a lap? Trying to aim for a lap improvement here, but to gain a position he'd need to improve his lap by well over a second. He's coming through the last corner here. He's not found an improvement. Let's follow Laurens as he's on a lap. Currently well in 3rd position. Together with his teammate, they're set to win the Constructors' Championship by a decent margin. Into the S's of 4, 5, 6 here. Now into turn 7, the long left-hander. Be careful not to tip your toes into the gravel there. Can be very treacherous. Now the fast 2 right-handers. Turns 8 and 9. going under the bridge. And he's decided to go off throttle here as there's a yellow flag. I think that was G-Bot going slowly there. Maybe Lawrence has made a mistake into the Degna corners, I believe they're called. Milo's still out, I think. Or he's out again, not sure if he pit. Might be on the lap right now. That is Tenta on an out lap. There he is. Our season 14 debut driver has returned to AV. See if I can find some statistics here for you, considering some of the drivers driving right now. Meantime, Milo put it in P4 just in front of his teammate, as he is 1/10 faster. He's currently in pit. Here we go, Tenta is lining up for his first qualifying lap of the season. Let's see what he can do in this very important lap. No pressure. Going into turn 1. Staying within the track limits and setting a lap is more important than taking risks right now. Into the S's we go. This is Tenta's 172nd official AV race. He tips a bit of the grass there, but he's keeping it within track limits. A little bit wonky on the exit, but he's still alive. Now into the hairpin we go. Medium traction control. I'm not sure if he uses medium TC, to be honest. Might be. As off your screens, we've now seen Laurens going into second. Leading Euphoria by, what? Less than a tenth. Half a tenth. That's gonna be some battle for P2. He does use medium TC. Damn, that's a choice. Here goes Tenta across the line. And puts it in front of Pint's eyes. It's P7 for him. And in his entire career, he's only got one pole. He's got one victory back in the days of AlphaTauri. In the season that he won one of his 2 Constructors' Championships. Those were good times. In fact, I can say it's my former teammate. Very good lap from him. Coming into a game that is unfamiliar to you. That is a decent lap time. Here we go. Galaxy here in the Sauber. The only person to not have set a time yet. That is very interesting indeed. Now the top 5 is in the pits. Let's see what these 3 drivers can do. Is there an in-lap maybe? Unfortunately, you can't see if they're on a in-lap or not. Point size is 8 seconds down on his previous lap, so he should be diving into the pits right now. And there he goes. See, Tenta also on an in-lap. I don't know if Galaxy is not using his ERS, so he should also be on an in-lap. Off there in Spoon corner. And should be heading into the pits right now, waiting for that last stint, last few laps. Tenta didn't go into the pits. That might be problematic for him. Did he set an improvement though? I think he did. I'm not sure if he actually set an improvement this time. G-Bot's also staying out. He's going on a lap right now, in fact. Let's see if he can improve. He needs to improve by a 10th to get in front of Nak. Or even Milo. It's very close. Those middle few drivers. The S's seem reasonably clean for G-Bot's doing. Now let's see what his delta time is going to be. He's half a second slower than his previous lap. It doesn't seem to be an improvement for him, though it might still be. Tenta shouldn't be on a lap right now. No, let's go on board back with G-Bot, as he's the only one out on a lap at the moment. I'll wait till the delta time of the second sector to see if he's actually improving. That seemed to be a bit off, and that's invalid. That's an invalid lap time there from G-Bot. And his qualifying session is over. First one across the line is Tenta here. He's going for another lap. Trying to improve on his lap. Let's go on board. Actually, let's watch him from the TV cameras. Right here, a little bit of a slide. On the exit of turn 2, going into the S's here. Going over the curbs, not losing the back too much. Those lines seem okay to me. A little bit wobbly on the long left-handers, going into Degno now, where he touched grass on the previous lap. Right now it seems to be all within the lines. As there's a yellow flag. Is that Lars? That is Lars on an invalidated lap. We won't be seeing him improve. As we should take a look at the... that's Euphoria. I'm not sure if Euphoria is on an improvement right now. But he shall not be happy if he finishes in third. Behind Lowens. Lowens creating a nice buffer for his teammate there. Let's take a look once more at Tenta here as he comes through the chicane, keeping it within the track limits. Trying to find the traction. And he improves by a 10th, but now we take a look at Euphoria, puts it in second. That's going to be very important for the championship. Or at least to see who's going to get the win of this race. Euphoria needed to get that buffer out of the way. What can Laurens do here? He's 20 seconds down on his previous lap. That's not going to be an improvement from him. G-Bot's coming across the line now. Stays in 6th. Here we go on board with Galaxy. Staying very close to the inside. Jumps into 5th place. Good effort from him. Having all that pressure on him. He hadn't set a lap yet. Or at least not a valid one. And with one lap on the line, puts it in 5th. Here we go then. Nuck managed to jump into 3rd. I didn't cover him. That's on me. That's a very good 3rd place from Nuck there. Within half a second of Lars. Lars getting pole position. That's 1 point for him for pole position. Euphoria 2nd, Nuck 3rd. Laurens in 4th. sticking with the top 4 there. Very close on pace. Then there's a big jump to Galaxy in 5th and the rest. The 2 Aston Martins, Milo and Gbot in 6th and 7th, followed by the 2nd Ferrari of Tenta and Pint Size in 9th. Lining up the grid for today. Not that many drivers, so it's all points for everyone if they keep it alive. If they keep the car whole, if they don't crash each other out, if they don't rage quit. Keep your emotions under control. There's points on the line. And keep your car under control most of all. Despite having only won 1 race, Lars is leading this championship compared to Euphoria's 3 races that he has won this season, all in the last 5 races, so he seems to be on a roll and might be up for a good comeback here with only 18 points separating them with 5 races to go. Warm up. Let me set up my station here. Very different tire choices here for everyone. As we have starting top 2 on mediums. Nock starting on the hards, trying a different strategy here. Not sure if it's going to be a 1 or 2 stop. Naturally, I think it's going to be a 1 stop, knowing this game well. So it's probably going to be a hard medium or medium hard. But Milo here in 6th, starting on the softs, might be trying something different. In the last races, he's got some podiums. He got 3rd in Spain, 3rd in the Netherlands. So he's hoping to get 3 podiums in a row here. Starting from 6th, so it's going to be tough even with this competition. The strategy might be interesting here. In the back we've got Pint Size, Tenta and Gbot starting on the mediums, trying to get a decent stint at the start. Nuck must be trying to do damage limitation on the opening laps on his hards, trying to not be overtaken by Lowens, who's starting on mediums. And we've got Galaxy having Milo behind him on the softs while he's on the hards. We're gonna see if that ends up in any overtakes on the start. So we're gonna put the interval time back on and the position change here for the start as usual to see who's getting a better start off the line as they're all getting ready to start this race. A very aggressive starting position there from Lars. You can see he's pointed all the way towards the center here. We've got a very good view of the grid and the lights are going on one by one. And they're out. And we are racing. In Japan, it's a very good start from Euphoria. He's already jumped Lars and he takes the lead of this race. Nock goes a bit wide there. Milo, on his soft tires, has managed to climb all the way up to P3. Lowens keeps P4. And Nock has slid away on his hard tires. Dropped back to P6, went a bit wide into turn 1 and 2. Lost a lot of positions. He's now battling with G-Bot. G-Bot goes a bit wide into the gravel, but he's managed to get back on track right here. As Euphoria leads away from Lars. Very, very crucial move there from Lars there, from Euphoria. Going into the lead of this race. Milo. Very good start. Jumping into third, trying to get another podium. As he's showing that he has the pace. Let's go look at the midfield here. Nock trying to gain back positions. He's already in front of his teammate. Tenta going side by side with G-Bot here. But he's bailing out just before they go into the fast left-hander, which name I've forgotten very, very stupidly. Forgive me. Is there a white line next to the one Galaxies? Interesting. Anyway. So, Nock and Galaxy lost positions. Milo and Euphoria are the winners of the first lap here. Gaining most from the starting lineup. As the grid is kind of forming into 3 groups of 3 here. We got the 3 leading cars of Euphoria, Lars and Milo. Kind of pulling away from the rest here. Then we got this middle pack with Laurens, Nock and Galaxy. And in the back we've got G-Bot, Tenta and Pine Size all a bit together in each other's DRS, as you can see. Lars has managed to keep close to Euphoria though. Euphoria couldn't get away here. As we go on board with Lars. Going into 130R. I've remembered the name. I hope you're all very proud of me. Into the chicane. He brakes very late. That's almost a collision. That was very close. And they've all got to look out for Milo behind them as well on the soft tires. Trying to capitalize on those tires before he has to pit early. Naturally. But for now, no position change. Nock though is very close behind Laurens. Trying to make good on his, but he's on the curb. And losing a lot of time, also touching grass there. Not much else happening so far. They're sticking close together. And G-Bot's trying to jump team, going from the last triplet into the middle section of drivers. Here, and that's Nock. That's Nock. Nock's in the gravel after the Degna corners, and he's got to look out to not crash into his teammate. He's dropped back to 8th place. That's not what you want to see. He already looked a bit unstable in qualifying. Not sure if that was by any fault of his own or if there was contact there. I would assume not. What I would assume though is that Lars is going to be looking up the inside of Euphoria. Going into the next straight here. He's very close to the rear. The gap is 4/10. He's going to try to make a move. Let's take a look at the ERS. His ERS is gone. No ERS. While Euphoria is sitting comfortably at 30, which is also not a lot. Milo's used all his ERS. Lawrence is on half. Galaxy's on half. G-Bot's on 30%. Tenta's used a lot. Nock's on 30%. So the best ERS savers here are Lawrence and Galaxy. The rest are very, very aggressive with their ERS usage in the opening stages of this lap. For Lars it makes sense though, as he's trying to repair his mistake or repair his bad start, of which Euphoria took advantage. We see here, point size is very close, but going a bit wide. He was very close to Tenta there, battling for 8th position. We're going back to the front because Lars is now 5/10 away. He's got a bit more ERS than last lap, but it's still not a lot. See, it's already empty. You're using too much. Save up more. Because this way you're not getting enough power down the straight, you're slowing down too much near the end. And Milo has to let the top 2 drivers go a little bit. He's now in a little bit of a no man's land, having more than 2 seconds in front and behind him. Lawrence has also managed to find a bit of space for himself. He's in between the 2 Aston Martins now, in 4th position. And Nuck is the first to pit. He's going to a new set of mediums. Let's see, not repaired his damage. That's a very, very sad mistake from him. He probably went into the pits to try and repair his damage, but forgot to ask the team to repair his damages. There is a battle going on here. That's G-Bot and Galaxy fighting for position. For 5th. Not sure if a move has been made, but there's 2 tenths between our race leaders. Let's see if he's got enough ERS this time. Euphoria's got over 50%. While Lars he's dumping it all again on the straight. But Euphoria's got more than enough to defend here. As you can see, the gap remains manageable for him. And he stays in front, and Laurens is jumping in front of Milo because Milo's in the pit. I said he would be the first to pit. He's the second to pit on his soft tires, going to a new set of mediums. Probably trying a 2-stop here. These two are ever so close together. They've been at it for... since the start of this race, they've not been further than 1 second apart. Or more than 1 second apart. Actually, for most of it, I believe they would be within half a second of each other. And here we go then. There's potential for little battles all the way throughout the grid here. As we see Galaxy still behind G-Bot. Now trying to battle for 4th. But as we know, here we see the pit stops. Let's leave it on that for a bit. Because I believe pit stops should be coming soon. Or at least within the next few laps. On the main straight again, I think Lars is very close this time though. He's dumping all his ERS again. DRS is open. And he's trying to make a move around the outside, but there's not enough space there. There was enough space, and there is a crash. I think that's Galaxy, who's in the wall there. Not sure if that was due to a collision or not. He's dropped back to 8th. He's got physical damage to his right front wing. The wing end plate is off, and that's gonna set him back a lot because he's gonna need to get that repaired, and that's gonna take time. He still needs to pit. He's on hard tires though, so he was hoping to do a long stint. And that long stint is not gonna be as long as he hoped. As now we're looking at Tenta, who's trying to stay within DRS of Pine Size here. Only one DRS sector here, section here. I think it would be actually quite nice to have a DRS sector, a DRS section. Like right here you can activate DRS, that would be very nice. All the way up to 130R, maybe even through 130R if the car has enough downforce. Since this is an easy flat corner. I don't see why not, but of course you could have like a little DRS sector there. Just between Spoon and 130R. Just to make the cars a little bit closer. As he's only 4/10 behind here, he's got a huge run. Is he trying to make a move on the inside of Pint Size? Yes! That is a very good move. Now keep it within the track. And that's a move done from Tenta. And now he's got to stay constant. Keep the car straight here. And keep Pint Size behind. Not make any mistakes in the S's. Very good move from Tenta there. The new Ferrari driver here. Nuck's teammate. As Pint Size is right behind him though. So he might only have this position for one lap, but they're scrapping away. Very nicely. That's a little bit of a compromised exit there. And the penalties are starting to drop in as well. Pint Size going a bit wide. Milo, who is on new medium tires, is now coming behind them, trying to clear these drivers as quickly as possible. Nuck's also got a 3 seconds. That's 3 drivers now with 3 seconds of penalties. Lowens is into the pits. He's the first medium driver going into the pits, trying a bit of an undercut maybe. He's 9 seconds behind his teammate. So let's see where he comes out. Is he coming out in front or behind Milo? It's gonna be behind, as Milo is making a move round the outside of Pint Size, but what? What was that? Huh. Not sure what happened there. Probably a disconnection there. So I should send him an invite actually. Very quickly. 2 for prosperity. As we see that Milo has made a move on Tenta in the hairpin and has moved up to 4th place. Lowndes has come out of the pit behind the 2 Ferraris, so even behind Nuck, but Nuck has front wing damage, which is very much not nice to have, especially around this track. It's gonna cost you a lot of time. And both the race leaders are in the pit right now. Let's see if Lars can make the jump here. There you go. Very simultaneous. That was a very fast pit stop from both of them. I think Lars might be a little bit close. That's a 10-second penalty for Gbot. Gbot, as he goes into the pits, goes a bit too fast. And that's gonna come back biting him in the ass. Very unfortunate for him. We have Laurens following still very closely behind Nuck, despite Nuck's front wing damage. Oh, Euphoria's got a 3-second penalty. Are we gonna have a similar scenario to the last race? Oh, there's pushing there from Lars. He's very close right now. I don't think he's been this close before. I don't think he's gonna try to make a move into Spoon. That would be way too ambitious. But you can definitely see that Lars got better pace than Euphoria. Lars has gone for another set of mediums. Euphoria's gone for hard, so Euphoria might be going till the end here. And Lars is definitely going to have to pit again. Euphoria trying to defend the inside. Is there going to be an incident? No, they keep it together. There's a little bit of contact, but they managed to make it through in one piece. As Lars also got the DRS, because the DRS detection zone is all the way before the chicane, which is ridiculous. I think F1 should fix that. Should just be after the chicane, because why do you need so much space between the DRS section and the DRS detection zone? It's just stupid. Anyway, Lawrence has found a way past Nak there. And is now chasing down Tenta, who's the only driver to not have pit. He's on mediums. So he's going very long here. I think he might be also going for hards, just like you. Oh, there's a spongy bot on the track there. But we're following Lawrence. They have a bit of a rivalry in GT. Lawrence is staying behind Tenta here. A little bit of contact, just like Lars and Euphoria. Let's take a look at the tire age here. Tenta on 10 lap old mediums, while Lawrence are only 2 laps old. He's making a move on the inside of the exit of Spoon and has found a way by. Let's see if Tenta has got a lot of overspeed there. Oh, he's had to make evasive maneuvers to avoid his teammate. And they think there was a slight collision there, but not hard enough to upset his teammate. But this has given Nuck the DRS, and he's already passed Lawrence. Amazing stuff here. As Nuck, with front wing damage, has found a way back into P4 now, in front of Lawrence. Tenta's in the pits, of course. His tires seem to be pretty much dead. As Tenta's gonna drop back just behind Galaxy. Let's take a look at the penalties so far. That's 13 seconds for G-Bot, 3 seconds for Nuck, and 3 seconds for Euphoria. But Euphoria so far is managing to stay in the DRS of Lars here. Two major battles going on here for P4 and for the win of the race. As we see, Lawrence is right in the ass of Nuck his car in the gearbox. And he's got the DRS here. He's also got the ERS to try and make a move. Nuck's not making any defensive move. They're going side by side. And there was a little bit of wheel banging there. But they've both managed to keep it on track. And Lawrence has got the position. Nuck's going a bit wide into turn 3 there. Which compromises him and puts him out of DRS instantly. It's probably due to his front wing damage. That's gonna set him back a lot. Not sure if he's gonna be able to regain enough time to get back in the DRS of Lawrence here. Let's take a look at the tires. He's on older mediums as well, so that seems to be unlikely. Meanwhile, Euphoria's also fallen out of Lars's DRS as we go up towards the DRS detection zone. He's got a lot more overspeed here. And he's well into the DRS again. He's got so much more overspeed there. He's also got more ERS. So should be fine staying with Lars there. If he can make it till the end on those tires, I'm not sure how long the hards can last. Should be very well set up for a win here, because Lars will have to pit again. He did his first stint on mediums and is on mediums on his second stint again. And as we all know, the drivers have to be on at least 2 different sets of tires, 2 different compounds, which Euphoria has complied to. Lars hasn't. Nuck is in the pit, this time fixing his front wing, the Ferrari crew. Not fucking up a second time. He is coming out in front of his teammate. And he's on the hard tires, so he must be trying to go to the end on those tires. With a new front wing. Let's see where he comes out. Let's look at the stops here. He's the only person to have stopped twice now in 14 laps. As we've reached the halfway mark of this race. Euphoria able to stick with Lars very nicely. I think the hards are just as fine as the mediums then, or at least there's not that big of a difference. So Euphoria might also need to just do a second stop. Might be going a bit longer, might be going for softs near the end, who knows. It's all guessing at this point. But they're the only 2 drivers within a second right now of each other. But keep in mind that Euphoria does have a 3-second time penalty. And just like last week, when Lars had the 3-second time penalty, it could change a whole lot in the course of a race. It could lose you the win at the end. And there is a yellow flag. Is that G-Bot again in the gravel just before the S's? I think he's AI, yes. Now that's the second stop here for Galaxy, and he is going on the medium tire. Nuck is at the moment improving his best lap time, setting personal best, sector 1. If we go to the leading pair, Euphoria has managed to jump back in front of Lars there on his hard tires, which are just as old as Lars's medium tires. I think the tires won't last as long. That's another 3-second penalty for Nuck. It's from bad to worse for him in the course of this race. That's G-Bot in pit now. He seemed to be struggling earlier, as he's also serving his 10-second penalty that he got from speeding in the pit lane for his first pit stop. This is his second stop now. He falls back to 9th place. He's now right behind, 5 seconds behind Galaxy, who's also had some bad luck in this race. Hindsight still AI. Can still come back. He's had some issues with connection and PlayStation, but he should be coming back soon. He's in 7th, so who knows what can happen. He's on the hard tires. As we know, the AI, I think, doesn't have as much tire deg, so could be a good thing. Of course, it doesn't have as much pace, so It's always a huge downgrade. Something you want to avoid. As I see that Lars has just pitted and opted for the hard tires. And Euphoria has kept it going because he is on the hard. From third place, Milo is pitting now, staying in third in front of Laurens, and the gap is 4.5 seconds. Less than 4.5 seconds is the gap from Laurens to get a podium here in Suzuka. He's been on the podium 6 times in AV, but he's never won a race before. He's only 1 position from getting a 7th podium. Nak is right behind him. He's got 6 seconds of penalties though. Let's take a look at those. He has 6 seconds. But Nak's not giving up. He's right behind Laurens. 2/10. Separating them. They're both on the hard tires. Let's take a look at the tires here. Milo went from a set of mediums to another set of mediums. So my prediction that this was going to be a one-stop is definitely some bullshit. As Max got a very good run here, he's definitely going to gain a position here. He's got the ERS and the DRS to make a move. As Pine Size is joined back. He's currently in 8th position on 7 lap old hards. While Euphoria is leading this race on 8 lap old hards. That's another penalty for G-Bots. He's collecting them. Gathering all of them penalties. 6 seconds for him. He's gotten rid of his 10-second penalty, which has dropped him all the way back to 9th. And with 9 laps to go right now, Euphoria leads this race. But he's losing out a little bit of time to Lars. As Euphoria still has to pit. Milo comfortably in 3rd, but Nak is gaining on him. Nak has 6 seconds of penalties as well. Yep, that's 6 seconds. That's not very comfortable. He's gonna lose out on Laurens at the moment, but his teammate Tenta is too far away. Tenta very comfortably in 6th. Very good performance for this being his first race in this game. In his AV comeback. Tenta raced here last season in the RB. And managed to get a best position of 7th. So this will be his best result since before last season even. Look at season 12. It's gonna be his best result since Brazil season 12. Very impressive. Let's take a look at Laurens here. Nak unable to catch up to Milo. Lowens is able to stick with Nuck though. They're very close together. And who's also very close together is the drivers battling for 8th position. G-Bot is very close behind Pint Size. And he's got a lot of battery. A lot of ERS. Opening the DRS. Pint Size defending the inside. There's nothing he can do against the sheer top speed power ERS DRS that G-Bot has available to him. Pint Size is very low on battery himself, so couldn't defend much there. As he drops to 9th, I think he also needs to pit still. That's a big upset for him. What's nice though is that if he manages to finish this race, he's gonna get 2 points anyway, because there's only 9 drivers. I guess that's the bright side of having fewer drivers, is that as a driver you're getting points. For me, it might be a bit more boring from time to time, but sometimes with more drivers there's more stuff you're missing, which can also be frustrating. Lars is now 18 seconds away. I love the wing cam. Beautiful wing cam. You can really see the speed when you're on the wing cam. Ooh, that's a track limit for Lars. That's 3 seconds for Lars. This might change things a whole lot. This evens the odds between Lars and Euphoria for the race win. As we go take a look at the penalties here. They both have 3 seconds. See how many penalties Euphoria has in the race director here for a bit. Let's see, this is all lap 1. Let's see where Euphoria gets his 3 seconds on lap 10. After that, Euphoria's got a warning. Just 1. So, seems to be quite alright there. But you know, 2 more warnings and Euphoria's got 3 more seconds of penalties. When's he going to pit though? Is he going to stay out till the end of this race? 6 more laps to go for him. And 6 more laps to go for Lars. Sadly, we cannot see the... that would be a very nice update. If we could also see the tire deg, like the percentages on the side. If like an option here, that we could see like the telemetry enabled, lap data enabled, and then under that like the tire degradation enabled, or the tire temps even. You know, so that we have, as spectators and commentators, a lot more data available, so we can talk about it, we can judge if drivers are doing a good job, how long the tires will last. But it seems to me that Euphoria is dropping a lot of time right now, and that's gonna be a tough race for him. That's a 10-second penalty for... Pint Size for what? What did he get a 10 seconds for? What? Corner cutting? What happened there? Not sure what happened. Did he just cut the chicane? That's a bit odd. Short look at the stops here. Everyone's made 2 stops. Nox made 3 stops. Tenta's only made 1 stop. Is he gonna need to pit again? He's on hards. I'm not sure if the hards will go to the end. Maybe they will. He's got Galaxy right behind him though. He's in 5th. Because Nuck went into the pits again. And as we can see, Galaxy does have 6 seconds of penalties, so... As a matter of fact, Tenta doesn't even have to defend as hard to get that position. That's another warning there for Galaxy, I believe. Tenta can just let him go. Just stay within 6 seconds of him and you get a 5th position. That's 10 points. And right now you're beating your teammate. Very good performance here. I think Euphoria might be pushing it till the end, trying to save his tires as well as possible. Oh, I wish I could see how far those tires are gone. So that I can estimate if he needs to pit or not. How much of a risk he is taking. Or if he's still planning to pit. I don't think so though. With 4 more laps to go. If you pit right now, you're not going to make up any positions. He's got 14 seconds. Happening right now. I think Knox the only one within a second. He's got 9 seconds of penalty already. That's the most out of anyone here. Just from track limits. As he passes by G-Bot very easily. Now he needs to make that 3-second gap to make sure that he finishes 7th. And with that, with 3 laps to go, there's only 12.5 seconds separating Euphoria and Lars here. This is gonna come down to the wire. If Lars can gain about 4 seconds per lap. And there's a yellow flag. There is a yellow flag. Who is it? What's happened? It is G-Bot who's spun under the bridge. And is dropping a place to Pint Size. He's got 16 seconds of penalties. That's a whole lot of penalties. So there's nothing G-Bot should be worried about. That 8th place should be well within his grasp. He's lost out to Nuck though. Nuck being led by his teammate. Tenta playing the second driver role flawlessly here today. And if they work well together, Nuck could help Tenta stay within that 6-second gap, but they've dropped back a lot. And now Tenta's catching Nuck's dirty air. As the gap to the leader for Lars is down to 10 seconds. He needs about 5 seconds per lap. Has the one stop really worked for Euphoria here, or are his tires gonna be dead on the last lap? 2 more laps to go. This is gonna come down to the wire because Lars is gaining a lot of time. Not so much on the straight though. He's not managing his ERS at all. Don't know how realistic the tire degradation visually is, but this is looking a bit worse than this. Yeah, not too sure. Anyway, now down to 9 seconds. I think Euphoria's got this in the back though. As the gap from Tenta to Galaxy is about 5.4. So Tenta's gonna need to get a bit more pace in. He's on a lot older tires though. 14 lap old hards against 11 lap old mediums. All he can hope for is that Nuck catches up. fast enough to slow Galaxy down before the end. This is gonna be tough. Gap's now 5.8. As we've entered the last lap. Euphoria's got an 8-second margin. He should be cruising to the end right now to get 2 wins in a row and 4 wins in the last 6 races to close the gap to Lars for the championship lead. Let's see who's got the fastest lap. Lars has got the fastest lap though. Unless G-Bot somehow takes it away on his new soft tires. Here we go. Nock is right behind Galaxy. And he's got a lot better exit and he's already in front of him. Now we can see the true gap. To Tenta, it's 5.8. And Galaxy's got a 6-second penalty. Take a look at those penalties here. It's all down to the wire, but through the final chicane, with 6 seconds to spare, comes Euphoria to win the Japanese Grand Prix and close down that gap by 7 points. The gap is now 11 with 4 races to go, and it's all to fight for between these two. With Fast and Faimi not being here, they are pretty much ruled out right now. Unless some miracle happens. But Euphoria has set his eyes on the prize. Now let's take a look at this gap here, which is most interesting. Nock needs to hold up Galaxy, which he is not doing at the moment, to have Tenta within that 6 seconds of Galaxy, but he's not managing, I think. The tires are gone. There is a yellow flag on track. Why I do not know. That's Lars has crashed it out in anger. Milo getting his 3rd podium in a row. That's 3 third places in 3 races. Laurens finishing 5th. Oh, what's happened here? Why has he got a 10-second penalty? Did he cut the chicane? What happened? What's happening to the game? That was scary. For a moment I thought that, I don't know, the game was trying to come out of the screen and personally attack me. But yeah. Okay, back to the AV race. Euphoria wins the race. And it's making this championship interesting. Thank you, Euphoria. And thank you, Lars, for making this race very interesting. Closing the gap down. Only 6 seconds. Milo, another podium. Very aggressive start from him, putting himself into that 3rd position and never giving it away to anyone. So all in all, a very entertaining race with only 9 drivers. Doesn't matter. G-Bot stole the fastest lap from Lars away. That means that the gap is now only 10 points. For the championship, G-Bot's getting involved. Amazing stuff. That's 1 more point for Aston Martin. And yeah, here we go. Got the final results. I don't know what happened with Galaxy, why he got a penalty there for 10 seconds. How much did he cut? How much was on purpose? I have no clue. I wasn't watching. But this was the Japanese Grand Prix, and we'll be back next week with wait for it. We're going to the Middle East. It's Saudi Arabia, and after that, Qatar. And once we're done with that sand, we're going to the USA, and then we're going back to the Middle East for more sand in Saudi Arabia, where the finale of this AV Championship will be held. And let's hope it's going to be a masterpiece and not some sort of shit show, which it sometimes can be. Anyway, we'll be here again next week. Thanks for watching.